and welcome back to another video. So like I mentioned last week, I said I was working on a gouache video, and here it is. It's my second attempt at working with gouache. So my first attempt was actually with that chibi fish June. I'll probably put a picture on the screen, so if you're not following me on Instagram or anything, you guys can still see it. So that June fish chibi was my first attempt at using gouache, and then immediately after, or I guess like kind of immediately after, I decided to work on this piece. Something a tiny bit, little bit, like a bit more ambitious, because I'm not used to first drawing two people together for like a painting, as well as just working with gouache in general is already a struggle for me. So I'll let you guys know that I'm primarily a person who loves to draw. I love drawing with pencil, mostly. Just like give me a mechanical pencil and a piece of paper, I'm very happy. And after that, I think my next most comfortable medium would be watercolor. So watercolor and drawing, what they have kind of in common is that you go from light to dark. So this is where I struggle with gouache. As you can see, I'm just laying down the kind of like base colors and trying to knock out most of the white. I believe that's what I'm working on. Yeah, I'm gonna go into the background, put down like a kind of baby bluish color, and then I'm gonna fill in the clothes probably. So yeah, that's just like a technique that I've learned like from previous years of doing acrylic painting and oil painting in the past, like during university. And for some reason in my brain, I have a hard time working from dark to light. And that's primarily what people use, like mediums like gouache or oil painting or acrylic painting. Like you can go from dark to light because like usually the paint is so opaque and you're able to layer your lighter colors on top of your darker colors without too much like a show through or a muddy, how to explain it? Basically you can layer from dark to light because they're opaque, rather than watercolors where it's harder to work dark to light in watercolors. It's pretty much like impossible because you have to layer in such a way that you build up your values from light to dark, because like watercolor is transparent, so it's not really a way to go from dark to light in an efficient way unless you're using gouache with watercolors. So in the way why did I sound like that? Whatever. So basically when I'm doing like drawing, I also go light to dark. I've done reduction drawings before where you start off with a mid-tone and you do a lot of adding your highlights and stuff at like pretty early on. Like you can take away your values and add a little bit of darker values at the end. So I've done that before, but my primary work style is pretty much working from light to dark. So I'm struggling a lot with the gouache. More so on the face. When I'm working on the hair, I actually have quite a bit of fun just messing around. So one thing I've done before is I've done digital painting as well, and I work in the same way where it's kind of inefficient for me to work light to dark when I'm digitally painting because it's just harder to see values and stuff. I think it's probably better to start dark to light when even like digitally painting. I've done a few digital painting stuff. I'll probably pop a few on the screen. Usually they're studies like trying to do realism. I've done realism before, but I've done it in a way where it's like I'm not actually physically drawing it in a way that's, I don't know how to explain it, because how I used to do digital painting, quote, like in quote air quotations, I would take the airbrush and I would zoom in and like color pick from the photo I was using and try to match it with the the drawing that I'm doing. But I use primarily the airbrush, which isn't great. I'll show a few. They're very like soft and I don't know. Sadly, I lost the layers to one of them, which is weird because I wanted to see what my sketch looked like prior, because usually my sketches look very different when I did that kind of style of painting. But then recently I'm more accurate with my sketching, at least for like realism and stuff. You guys probably already see my realism stuff. That is not my watercolor stuff. If not, I'll post maybe a few sketches from my recent sketchbook. I haven't done a lot of realism recently. I should get back into it because I'm getting super rusty at observational drawing. Yeah, but back to the gouache thing. Well, that was like a really big tangent. Basically, gouache and my digital painting, I both struggle with. I'm very inefficient when it comes to painting, and when I mean painting in this kind of style where you're working lineless and you're building up value through like shapes and stuff. I'm not very proficient in it, and that's something I struggled with in university as well. Might be a reason why I switched to watercolor during my final year. Luckily my professors were very supportive of me switching because they can see that I wasn't fighting with the medium like 90% of the time. Yeah. The thing is, like, I can do acrylic painting. Oil's a bit iffy. I don't know. I use too much white and I make stuff look very pastel. Like, very much so like how I work with gouache right here. My values were very pastel and look almost kind of like muddy-ish. Reason being is because I use titanium white instead of my Chinese or like zinc white, which is supposedly used for like, you know, you're mixing your colors so that they don't become so pastel. And titanium white is so opaque that it turns out that it makes everything look pastel, and my values here are very light and pretty much like all the same value. Probably like maybe one or two, like 2 or 3 values in this picture, but there's nothing like extremely dark and in that darker realm of the values or whatever. But except for like, I think S.coups pocket, or where S.coups body meets Jun's shoulders, that's kind of a better idea of like getting more values into the painting. But I was really struggling with this, and I'm struggling with the voiceover for some reason. Like, my brain feels like really scattered right now. I don't know. I hope you guys do enjoy this one. I did do a few paintings of Jonghan. I'll put them up on the screen so you guys can see it, and that's using these zinc or like Chinese white rather than titanium white, so it's a little bit more vibrant. I'm still struggling with the values, but like when I'm talking about the values, if you were to take this photo, like take a photo of my painting and put it to grayscale, it's probably going to be very similar in value, which isn't great. It's better to have like a full range of values in a painting or in a drawing or illustration, just to give more contrast. Yeah, not sure. Wow. I'm very scatterbrained right now. I'm so sorry for like the really shoddy voiceover today. I'm doing this voiceover like well in advance to when this video is going up, because I'm gonna be busy this week and next week, so hopefully this will be sufficient of a video for you guys. I'm working on another animation, so hopefully it'll be done sometime this month. Only about a quarter way through the animation. But I have a fun video hopefully for next week, and it has something to do with that June fish photo thing that you guys know, but I keep drawing whenever I do like other painting methods or whatever. But yeah, maybe I'll do a digital painting session and you guys can watch me struggle. I don't know, maybe. I have one of Ming Hao, but I'm not liking the nose. I feel like the nose is something I really need to work on. Like in general, I feel like I want to draw the nose realistic, and I don't know if it looks good with the anime style, so I go like super anime where it's super simple with like that triangle pointy nose. I don't know. I need to find a balance in between my realism and this kind of anime styled art. I need to find a balance, because there's definitely something I want to achieve, but I'm restricting myself to like having these two styles separate, and I feel like I should just find a way to merge them. But yeah, as you can see, I taped like the watercolor paper that I'm using to that Strathmore board that I've been using from I think 2 Speedpaints ago. The one that I used for like the Ming Hao chibi painting. And it's just because it's the right size, I could just easily tape it down and I don't have to worry about like having a whole board being turned around with a tiny piece of paper attached to it. I feel like this one came out okay. I definitely like the Jonghan one in my sketchbook, the one with the face mask, a little bit better. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to learn how to work with gouache in an efficient way so that I can use it in conjunction with my watercolors, like a lot of other artists that I like are able to use it. I really just want to use it so I can do backgrounds and foliage a little bit more efficiently and less I don't know what I'm saying. Less stiff, I guess. I want it to look more natural, but I don't draw backgrounds in general, so that's something I need to work on regardless. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I do hope that you guys like watching me struggle with the gouache painting. I know I didn't film the full thing, but I was having like anxiety with the camera because I'm like, oh, maybe I won't film this, maybe I will film this, but in the end, got enough footage. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week, and thank you very much for watching, and bye!